Okay, here we are back in Legend of Heroes, and with all of these side quests finally out of the way, we need to head to Ravennue, which is the west side. So we did go to this area before for our monster extermination mission. It's not completely alien territory for us, although I still wish to avoid as many random encounters as possible. Okay, this fork in the road should be right here. So, he has a portrait, you know what that means. Charizard, is that you? Well, this is an unlikely place to run into the Silver Streak. Right back at you. I thought you were in the Royal City, but are you here to look into the airliner incident? No, I'm here on some chump errands. Speaking of the incident, I hear it was the work of the Sky Bandits. Anyway, if you're here on the job, then I guess I don't have to worry about it myself. Good luck to you. Is that all you got to say? I'm sure you heard that Cassius might have been taken hostage, right? Cassius Bright taken hostage? Don't make me laugh. The old man's not going to get beaten by the likes of some Sky Bandits. Anybody saying that is severely mistaken. I'd like to believe that too, but I wonder who this guy is. I don't know, but he seems to fit the mold for a bracer. By the way, who are those brats you got tagging along with you? Well, just take a look at the guy. He's the single sword wielder. He has the pointy anime hair. He's practically main character material here. Look like a bunch of newbies to me. Well, then I'm sure you'll be surprised to hear that these brats are Cassius's kids. Yeah, that's a surprise, alright. So, these are the old man's kids, huh? Hard to believe it. Why are you looking at us like that? This boy with the black hair is one thing, but the girl really looks like an amateur. Are you sure she's really Cassius's daughter? Kick his ass, Estelle. You wanna try saying that again with my staff in your teeth? She's the bona fide daughter of Cassius Bright, and I have to warn you, her bite is as good as her bark. And I'm just his adopted son. Is that a fact? Oh well, doesn't really matter. What do you mean it doesn't matter? Well, take it easy, Charizard, and be careful not to let these brats drag you down. Yeah. And make sure not to rush into any trouble yourself either. Now keep those words in mind. Oh, by the way, Charizard, is it you who took care of the monster near the mine? Yeah. Well, actually it wasn't just me, it was us. Didn't think any number of trainees would have made much difference. But anyway, good luck in your search for those Sky Bandits. Later. What's with that guy? He really pisses me off. I see, so that was Heavy Blade Agate, huh? Heavy Blade Agate? What a stupid name. Agate Crossner, Senior Bracer in the Bracer Guild. He works in all regions and isn't affiliated with any specific branch. His Master Blade is said to be capable of slicing a monster in two with a single slash. I'll just tell you right now, he's one tough customer. Whatever, I don't care how tough he is, he's still a rude jerk. Come to think of it, how does he know Dad anyway? He seems to think highly of Dad's ability, but even so, he didn't seem to like him all that much. There are a number of things in his past I can't go into, and those things are the reason why he feels that way about your father. Well, I couldn't care less about someone rude like that. Anyway, let's hurry to Ravennue Village. Oh yeah, those guys. Must avoid random battles. Hug the wall. The wall betrayed me. Okay, we only one random battle. Alright, let's see what we can find out about the sighting. So what do you suggest? Should we just go talk to all the villagers? People would be suspicious of us if we did that all of a sudden. I think we should talk to the village elder first and see what he has to say about it. Okay. And even though I was just here, I don't really remember my way around the place. That's a dead end. Here we are. I see you're all together. What brings you all here today? Are you here for a visit? No, not exactly. We're actually here on business. Although if it's possible, I'd really like a glass of your fruit wine. Things in the world never go like you expect, do they? By the way, I never got a chance to ask you until now, but you don't have to be one of Agate's companions, do you? Well, we're all members of the same guild, but we're not companions exactly. We know him by face, and that's probably about it. I see. So he's traveling by himself as usual, huh? Village Elder closed his eyes for a moment, look of sadness. What's wrong, sir? It's nothing, really. Please, pardon my expression. Anyway, what brings you to this rural village of ours? Don't tell me another dangerous monster showed up in the area. No, we're actually in the middle of an investigation concerning the missing airliner. We came here because we heard there was a report of some kind of sighting. Ah, I see. Royal Army came here and investigated that the other day. However, they searched around the area and ended up leaving empty-handed. Really, is that so? Well, what about the person who saw the flying silhouette in the sky? It's one of the children here, a boy named Louis. He apparently saw some suspicious shadow making its way across the sky on the night of the incident. But he's a kid when you think about it, so he may have just imagined the whole thing while he was half asleep. Imagined it, huh? I guess the best thing we can do then is ask him directly. You're probably right about that. Thank you for your time, sir. Don't mention it. If there's anything else I can help you with, don't hesitate to ask. So, we're looking for a boy named Louis. Is there a Huey and Dewey with him? And they didn't say where to find this kid, did they? You look suspicious. Bingo. I haven't seen you guys around here before. Are you merchants here to buy fruit? Actually, no, we're here for a different reason. As a matter of fact, we're bracers. Bracers? You mean like Agate? I don't know, you don't look all that strong to me, especially because you're a girl. Kick him in the water, Estelle. Why don't you tell me how you really feel? But after seeing my great skills with the staff, do you think you can still call me weak? Wow, that's amazing. It's like a tornado. I hope you learned your lesson that looks can be deceiving. Now how about another amazing demonstration with my staff? Estelle, be careful. Wasn't it just yesterday you hit yourself in the face doing that? Anyway, are you Louis by any chance? Yeah. But how do you know my name? We heard from the village elder. He said you saw some kind of flying shadow. Do you think you could tell us a little bit more about what you saw that night? Sure, if you want. The soldiers from the army already searched the place and didn't find anything. That's fine, we're not worried about that. Do you think you could just tell us what you saw? In as much detail as you can remember? Okay, I'll try. You see, I like watching the stars at night, so I often sneak out of my house at night to come here and look at the stars. The other night when I was out here looking up at the stars, I saw two shadows moving across the sky. Now hold on a minute here. You say you saw two shadows? Yeah, that's right. And they were different sizes too, kind of like a mom leading a kid. Two shadows, two sizes. That's consistent with an airliner and the Sky Bandit airship, if you think about it. Yeah, the aircraft we ran across in the woods was definitely smaller than a typical airliner. And the two shadows just kept on flying north, until I couldn't see them anymore. So, north is... There's a trail that continues behind the village. It leads to an old septium mine which was abandoned some time ago. An old abandoned mine. It's starting to feel like a Sherlock Holmes story. Soldiers from the army supposedly searched the trail but didn't come up with anything. That's why they said I must have just been dreaming. Then they laughed at me like I didn't know what I was talking about. And the boy is starting to cry. Ah, enough of that. You're a boy, right? Boys don't cry. We're not like those stupid soldiers. We don't think you're telling a lie either, and we're going to prove it. Really? Darn straight, you just leave it to us. So no more crying, okay? Okay. You're a real nice person. Haha, as usual, she's got a knack with the kids. Yeah, maybe it's a virtue. Or like understands like. Huh? Why are you looking at me like that? It's nothing. Let's just focus on the task at hand. It looks like we have some stuff to do. Right. Let's hurry and get onto the trail behind the village and see what we can find. And... damn it. I actually probably should... yeah, I'm gonna stay the night. 60 Mira, ouch. get out of here while my wallet still has some life in it. Now, I think I got most of the loot last time I was here. And more of those annoying things. No! Dead end. There we go, we found the mine. Yeah, nothing special on the map. Ravennue mine. The gate is secure with a heavy chain and padlock. Smash it. This looks like the entrance to an abandoned mine. It kind of reminds me of the Mulga mine, except for the fact that it's all deserted. It seems that this place was abandoned quite some time ago. Padlock and chain are rusted. It doesn't look like this gate has been opened recently. Which means that there's no possibility that the Sky Bandits entered through here. I wonder if that's why the army never investigated the place. Probably not gonna find any clues searching around in an old mine, that's for sure. What's wrong, Estelle? Maybe it's just me, but do you feel any air flowing out of here? When you say out of here, do you mean the mine? Yeah, that's right. Let's see. Right, Estelle, it's rather subtle, but there is air flowing out of here. Just like I thought, huh? Sometimes your senses can be surprisingly sharp, you know that? I wonder if you get that from your father. My dad doesn't have anything to do with it. Forget about that. Aren't you more interested in what's inside this old mine? There's certainly a possibility that it connects to somewhere. It's probably worth checking out. Well, in that case, let's bust this lock off. Hey, don't you even think about doing that. For now, we'd better head back to the village and talk with the elder. He might have the key. You're no fun, Shara. And wow, we're getting trolled hard here. So after having to walk through the damn place, I have to walk back. If I'm pressed for time in this video, this part is definitely getting cut. Hello. Found tear ball. I am error. So they even managed to squeeze in a Zelda reference. Okay, we made it. Still like the lock smashing option. Where the hell did he go? He's up at the gravesite on the hill. There he is. So, this is where you are, Elder Ryson. Oh, it's you young bracers, is it? Well, this is a rather extravagant grave for a small village, isn't it? It was erected to mourn all those souls we lost 10 years ago, since the Bose region is nearest to the Empire was in the thick of the fray. This village lost a number of good people in the hostilities. That's terrible. There's no need for you to get somber too, though. These days, cleaning this monument is just one of my daily routines. But I guess you wouldn't have come up here if you didn't think there was something I could help you with, right? Alright, there was something we wanted to talk to you about, but before that, would you mind if we paid our respects as well? I know we don't have any flowers to give, but we'd at least like to offer up a prayer. Oh, I see. No, of course I don't mind, and I'm sure all those looking down from above would be overjoyed by the gesture. So you say there might be some clues in that old mine, huh? I know for certain that the soldiers didn't check inside. After I heard Louis' story, it really got me thinking. We'd like to check the place out just in case, so would you mind lending us the key to the entrance? The key for that padlock, huh? Give me a minute here. I'm sure I put it in this drawer. Alright, here it is. Okay, this should get you inside. Wow, this key looks ancient. Many thanks, Elder Ryson. This will really help a lot. Don't mention it, we're always indebted to the Bracer Guild for their help. It's only natural that we would try and return the favor. If everyone we dealt with were as cooperative as you, it would make our lives a lot easier. We'll make sure to let you know if we find anything. I would appreciate that. Okay, now we go back. Let's use this key we borrowed from the village altar. And they're just leaving the padlock and chains right there sprawled out on the floor. At this point, I think it might have just been more polite to smash the damn thing. That was one heavy gate. Let's have a look inside, shall we? I don't know about Sky Bandits, but I can definitely sense monsters in here. Everyone stay alert. Man, it's bright in here. Huh? Isn't that the... Quiet as still. Looks like we've hit the jackpot. And it figures I'd end up dashing straight into the freaking thing. Forget about the heavy things and focus on the food provisions and valuables. And hurry it up, will you? It's only a matter of time before someone finds this place. Roger that, Kyle. Got it, Kyle. Okay, Kyle. Understood, Kyle. What's an airliner doing in a place like this? I guess that kid wasn't seeing things after all. This looks like an area that used to be used for strip mining. It certainly turned out to be a great place to hide something of this size. Yeah, who'd have thought to look here? Look at that, aren't they loading the airliner cargo into their own ship? Let's worry about that later. We've got to figure out a way to bag those guys before they get away again. So this is our third trip, huh? Man, Don can be a real slave driver sometimes. Well, once this is all taken care of, we'll be able to sit back and negotiate a nice fat ransom. Hold it right there. Who in the... Scorching flames of justice shall never fade away as long as evil thrives in this world. The League of Extraordinary Bracers has arrived. Huh? The League of what? You bonehead, why do you always get carried away like that? What's with you two? Now I look like a big fool saying all that stuff alone. You're the ones who Joe said had a run-in back with in Relent. This can't be right. You're not supposed to be here this early. It can't be right. We're not supposed to be here this early. What are you talking about? According to the laws of the Bracer Guild, you are hereby under arrest in charge of the hijacking of an airliner and its passengers. I hope for your sakes you come along quietly. Now hold on just a minute. Are you trying to tell me that only the three of you came here to arrest us? You see anyone else, Bandit Boy? So, you're not involved with the others, huh? That simplifies things. Get 'em, boys. Okay, it's my turn, so I'm actually going to get a drink before I start this whole thing, so... I'm gonna pause it for a sec. Okay. So, had I known this were here, I actually would have liked to get Estelle's CP up, but... I'll make do. Fucker, can I hit more than one guy? I'm gonna need to move them off to the corner or something. Petrify breath. All these are single target, aren't they? Damn it. Okay, kicking your ass first. Whoa. As for her, I do have Hurricane. Compared to some of the monsters I fought already, that's a light tap. I didn't switch from my frost stuff to my poison stuff in case those guys still have poison blades. Okay, that works. And one down. Yep. Bruce to Bob. So let's whack him. Okay, I don't see the reticle on Shara anymore, so maybe that cancels the attack. And yes, they do have poison blades. Sublime. So now we only have to worry about the blind on him, I guess. As for our blind and poisoned guy, putting him off on the side. Okay, the blind wore off. Did it? He has 189 left. And since I'm greedy, I'm going to end it on Shara's turn for that 7th bonus.
Oh, are we done already?
40 fire, hell yeah. Poison 1. You guys are tougher than I thought. It's no wonder Joseph got beaten by you 3. Sweet talk won't get you anywhere, buddy. It's time to surrender and let the passengers go. You really don't know anything, do you? What was that you call yourselves? A League of Exceptionally Dim or something? You making fun of my awesome team name? You're dead. Look out. I was under the impression that this guy was a pirate, not a ninja. What is this? You gotta be kidding me, another smokescreen? It's too bad about the rest of the cargo, but we'll have to live without it. Later, bracers. Hey, you know, for people who are supposed to be able to manipulate the wind, shouldn't you just be able to dispel that kind of easily? Someone got in my eyes. Don't worry, it's not poisonous. Looks like it was a typical smoke canister. Their ship is already out of sight. This is getting really old. It's not once, but twice now that they've gotten away. You're slipping, Shara? If I get demoted for this at the guild, there's not much I can say in my defense. Oh, Shara, quit acting like it was all your fault. We're responsible for letting them get away, too. If we got time to kick ourselves over this, then there's gotta be some other constructive things we can do. You sound like you should be the senior bracer. Well, at least we were able to take back the airliner, so now we have a look. Passengers may be inside. Right. Wow, it's pretty barren here. There's not a piece of cargo left. Evidently, the Sky Bandits managed to make off with it all. At least judging by the looks of things. Anyway, we should do a thorough investigation of the place. Here's a lift car. Looks like the same type as those at the landing port. The Sky Bandits probably used this to move the cargo. It's the orbital engine control panel. Looks like the flow of orbital energy has completely stopped. Okay. So there wasn't anything to search over here. Let's head up then. No clues with the food, eh? Here's the steering wheel used to pilot the ship. I wonder where the pilot could have gone. Still the steering wheel? looks like this is the captain's seat. If these are any other circumstances, I would love to sit here. Don't even think about it. Okay, you can't interact with the ladder, apparently. Okay, we're starting up front. So, these would be the first class seats. It's bright in here. There's a lot of light shining into this place. And that's it, apparently. Okay, that was relatively brief. So that's everything? Okay, so once you check everything, I guess you're just supposed to come out on the deck. You checked over, but it looks like there's nobody inside. There's a high possibility the passengers are transferred to the Sky Bandits airship, and then to wherever their hideout is. Agreed. But this sucks. Right when we thought we had some clues, we're back to zero. Come on, cheer up already. It's not like every clue is completely vanished. Why do you think the Sky Bandits hid the airliner in a place like this? As far as I can tell, the orbital energy in the ship has completely stopped, which means that the orbital engine was stripped from the aircraft. I know this because the orbital energy in an orbit gradually recharges over time. Furthermore, the Sky Bandits made multiple trips to carry off a large amount of cargo. Considering the time and risk involved, don't you think it would have been more effective to just take the entire airliner to their hideout? Yeah, that does seem a little odd that they didn't. So, why'd they hide the airliner here then? I think it was that they did it in order to sort the cargo, move the hostages, steal the engine, keep clear of the search, ditch the ship because the hideout is somewhere else. Yes, that's exactly right. For my guess, I would imagine that their hideout is in a slightly peculiar place. Maybe 10 to 15 Arga in size. In short, a peculiar place on which only a small aircraft like the Sky Bandits airship could land. Interesting. How about terrain with extreme differences in height, like mountains and ravines? It seems like a likely place for the Sky Bandits hideout. Yes, that's what I was thinking too. Neville Valley, damn it. However, if that's the case, then we may be unable to do anything else. There's a possibility that their hideout may be in a place we can't reach by foot. Then, what can we do? Well, I hate to say, but we may have to share conclusions with the army and ask for their cooperation. Because they're the ones with the patrol ships. What? Now you're trying to tell us we should go crawling back to the army and ask them for help? Either way, we still have to report to them about the airliner. Personally speaking, I still think we should cooperate with the army, whatever their attitude may be. Especially if that means bringing the hostages back safe and sound. I guess you're right. This isn't the time or place to be letting my personal feelings get the best of me. For the time being, let's get back to the Guild and report our findings to Lugren. We should be able to contact the Hocken Gate if we use the orbital telephone. And I have to walk back. I can only imagine what kind of cuts are going to be in this video. Well, not here for sure. Huh? What the heck? Now, this was something I did not expect. I wonder if we should be glad since they saved us the trouble of having to contact them. We have found a suspicious armed group. Put your hands in the air, all of you. What is the world coming to? A woman and 2 kids and are the Sky Bandits? Though the girl does look shifty. Hey now, that's just rude. And who are you calling the Sky Bandits? Can't you see the shiny emblem on my chest? The bracer emblem, huh? Hope you don't think for a moment something like that proves your innocence. Hey, it's our buddy the General. General Morgan? Why are you here? After looking over the reports of my men, I found this place to have been insufficiently investigated, so I came here to see for myself. Who could have thought that a lot of you were conspiring with the Sky Bandits? I want to get you to stop with the accusations, General. We happen to find the place one step ahead of your men. If that's the truth, then why don't you tell me where the Sky Bandits are? Are the hostages inside that airliner? We almost had the Sky Bandits, but they managed to escape. And there are no hostages to be found here. Looks Looks like the truth has come out. Most likely you notified the Sky Bandits to let them know we were coming. Wait a minute here, how about you cut with the crap? My thoughts exactly. Alright men, take them into custody. Well, at least this saves me the trouble of walking back. The General will be questioning you himself on the morrow. If your innocence is proven, then you'll be released in 2 or 3 days. So for the time being, the cell will give you a place to cool your heels. I bet this is the first time Shira actually went into a cell sober. Hey-oo. This is not even funny. Tossing us into a place like this without even listening to a word we have to say. The army managed to arrest the Sky Bandits, and I'm sure we'd have our names cleared. But the way things are at the moment, that may not be possible. Why not? You remember what the Sky Bandit leader we fought in the old mine said, right? He said, "This can't be right. You're not supposed to be here this early, if I remember correctly." Now that you mention it, he did say that, didn't he? You're not trying to tell me he meant that the army by that, are you? I don't know for sure, but I would bet that's what he meant, which means that the Sky Bandits have a mole in the army, or a collaborator who is leaking information. That's what you wanted to say, isn't it, Joshua? Yeah. Well, if that's the case, they'll never get caught, which means we're the only ones that stood a chance of nabbing them. But now we're stuck in here. I wonder how your father would get around this little setback. My. Well, don't all of you seem to be in a bit of a fix. Did you just say something, Joshua? No, I didn't say anything. Came from the cell next door. It almost sounds familiar. Betcha it's Olivier. Oh, how can you say something so heartless? My lustrous voice should be recognizable to anyone. Could this unfound self-confidence be and tone of absurd narcissism belong to? It's you, isn't it, Olivier? You do remember my dulcet chords. To think that we'd meet again in a place like this. It seems that we are bound by destiny. Why are you here? I thought we took you to Bose. Now you're locked up in a place like this? What the heck did you do? Come now, let's not worry about all the little details, shall we? I have my reasons which are deeper than the deepest ocean and higher than the highest peak. I'm definitely not asking now. Sure, we just get tired while we talked our ears off. What a coincidence, Estelle, I was just thinking the same thing. You know, the worst part in all this is, since they are cellmates, or cell neighbors, however you wish to think of it, it's not like they could actually get away from him if he started talking, or worse, singing. So there you have it, we don't really care to know. You talk so much, I'd probably be an old woman by the time you were done, and I'm not ready for wrinkles yet. Come on now, let's not be like that. I'll fill you in all the details of the tragic incident which befell me. Didn't you listen, dummy? We don't want to hear about it. It all began after we parted ways. I did some window shopping in the Bose market and then moved on to Anteros restaurant, and he couldn't afford the bill, could he? You see, once I had eaten to my heart's content, I began to play the grand piano to then feed my artistic soul. And upon doing so, the restaurant manager was overcome by my skill, so I was asked to stay and work as the professional pianist for the restaurant. That's great and all, but I thought you were supposed to be a lutist. A musical genius is not limited to just one instrument. Anyway, back to my story. After negotiating a few of my own conditions, I accepted the job offer. I'm expecting he needed to pay his bill or something? Those conditions were, of course, food and wine for free every day instead of Mira. I don't know how to put it, but that's very you, Olivier. Yet I'm not sure how that has anything to do with you getting thrown in jail. Oh, well, this is where the real sob story begins. That night, I had been enjoying a plate of sautéed duck I'd had the chef prepare, then the blood sauce which had been used a little too overbearing for my palate. Consequently, I began to feel that normal red wine was not satisfying enough. The more you talk, the more I want to hate you. But go on, I'm curious in spite of knowing better. Well, so I borrowed a bottle of wine which seemed good from the cellar. Something called Grand Chardonnay from the year 1183. Grand Chardonnay from the year 1183? That's the legendary vintage wine that was auctioned off in the Royal City. Oh, well, aren't you well informed? I heard a rumor about it too, so of course I was interested in having a drink for myself. Auctioned off? How much are we talking about here? Well, I heard it was somewhere in the neighborhood of 500,000 Mira. 500,000 Mira? For just one bottle? That's out of this world. And you didn't, did you, Olivier? Such a needless question. Of course I opened the bottle and had a sip. Its sweet-smelling fragrance tickled my nostrils. Its luxurious, mellow taste caressed my throat. And can you believe what else? A rose-tinted vignette of time and space existed within that very bottle. I don't think I can listen to this any longer. Yeah, my ears are bleeding from listening to such stupidity. I'm completely dumbfounded. Sad thing is that after taking a sip of such excellent wine, I began to feel the food was lacking. And as I was having the chef cook me up something else to match the wine, the restaurant manager returned. Since I'm not a stingy fellow, I cordially invited him to join me for a drink. For some odd reason, he got rather upset. In fact, he got so steamy and mad that his face looked like a ripe tomato. Before I could say another word, a group of soldiers came filing in. And, well, one thing led to another, and I can't say another word of this tragedy of being dragged all the way here without coming to tears. So let us all weep together as you sympathize with my dilemma. Idiot. Pardon? But do my ears deceive me? I could have sworn I heard a zzz, even an absurdly misheard idiot coming from your cell. Are you listening? This is where my story gets really interesting. You see, several further trials awaited me after I was brought here. Hello, are you listening? So, that just happened. Hey, you three, get up. I'm tired. What's wrong? What, are you trying to tell us we're being interrogated this early in the morning? That's a little early, even for me. No, it's just the opposite. You're being released. Huh? Why all of a sudden? Is there a reason for this? Yes, I'd like to consider myself that reason. Mary Mabel? Well, what an unusual place to be meeting you. I'm really sorry about everything that's happened to you. But don't worry, your names have been cleared. I don't completely agree with everything, but this is a request coming from Mabel herself. You'd better remember to thank her. So you mean Mayor Mabel stood up on our behalf? That's not exactly it. I just explained your situation to General Morgan. Our situation. Yes, I have one question for the both of you. Are you really the children of Cassius Bright? That's right. This is Estella Bright, and I'm his adopted son, Joshua. I see. Now that you mention it, the girl does slightly resemble Lena. You knew my mother? Yes, I enjoyed your mother's cooking on several occasions when I visited your home in Roland. In fact, we even met once when you were just a baby. Now, wait just a minute. You're a personal acquaintance of my dad's? I knew that he was in the military before, but I don't know Cassius Bright the Bracer. The only Cassius I know is the one from the service. He was a rare strategist. Strategist? Dad? I just can't imagine what he saw in the Bracer Guild. It makes me angry just thinking about it. You'll have to excuse me. What's wrong with him? It seems like your father was a brilliant officer in the military. I've heard from the general that he tried several times to get your father to change his mind about retiring. I didn't know that. Somehow it feels hard to believe. However, if that's the case, the general's hatred for bracers may stem from Cassius leaving the army. From the vexation of being left by one of his most promising men. I get the same impression. So what you're saying is our lives are such a pain because of Dad. That dirty, rotten scoundrel. How about we turn to Bose now? With the airliner being found, the situation has taken a new turn. So there are a number of things I'd like to discuss with you. Oh, sure. Is something the matter? I'm definitely ready to get out of here, but it feels like we're forgetting something. Now that you mention it, what could it be? You're not forgetting anything. Run! Run faster! Oh, how callous can people be at times? How could you forget about a companion who spent the night with you in a cold, hard cell? How lamentable, how pitiful. Fine, be that way. I shall wither away, friendless and hungry, alone in this dark purgatory. Is he still here? Yeah, I completely forgot about him. Sorry to say this, but there's not much we can do for you. Is he the musician I heard about? The one who chugged the bottle of Grand Chardonnay without a second thought? Ha, indeed that is I. Yet, my fair lass, I would be heartbroken if you took my intentions the wrong way. For you see, I perceived it as an advance payment for the exquisite services that I was about to render. You're quite the interesting character. Alright, I'll see what I can do to bargain with the General for your release. Really? Truly? You would do such a kind service for a man such as myself? I think that may be asking a bit much. If the restaurant takes as a trial, there's going to at least be a lawsuit. Well, there's no need to worry about that. You see, the owner of the restaurant is me. Huh? And that Grand Chardonnay was the very one I bid on. That being the case, I'm fairly confident there won't be any other problems over the matter. Give him the death penalty, damn it. I can't believe you were released. It's like a stroke of bad luck. Please don't lay on the compliments so thick. However, it pains my soul that I partook of such a fine wine without paying a single mira. Shall I play the piano at the restaurant per our contract to remedy that? I think I'm going to have to pass on that. After what happened, I think it would be a bit awkward having you back there. Everyone don't think he'd mind a bit. Yeah, he sure does seem to have some thick skin. Let's just think of it as an unfortunate incident for the both of us. But I don't think I can just let things go like this. Let's see. It seems like you're investigating something at the moment, right? How about I lend my assistance in return for the wine? Huh? Well, that does sound interesting. Could I ask you to join these bracers in their work? Could you ever? So it's settled. Let our new working relationship bloom like a magnolia in the height of spring. Hold on a sec. What did we do to deserve this? Your general weirdness aside, simply having an amateur like you around is honestly going to be a pain. So, are you confident that you won't be a drag on our work? Or our sanity? Well, I'm somewhat confident in my marksmanship and magic. But of course, I'd be distressed if you tried to list my music genius in the same group. That's the kind of line that gets me really worried. Maybe we could use an extra hand. As long as we can't count on the army to help us out, I have a feeling that we'll be short on manpower. Alright then, we'll use you for what you're worth. However, if we do happen to conclude that you're not worth your weight, you're dumped from the party. So you're going to be okay with that? Of course, I don't mind. I'd never let you down, so please be reassured. Well, my expectations of you are pretty much at rock bottom anyway, so I know you won't let me down. I'm glad things are settled between you all. Before you go, there's something I need to tell you. Tell us. Actually, the town did seem pretty noisy as we were headed here. What happened? Truth be told, last night there was a large-scale burglary in Beausay's South Block. The weapon shop and the Orbital Factory were targeted, as well as a number of private residences. What? So is this the work of the Sky Bandits? It's unknown at this time, but seems highly probable. A unit of the Royal Army is currently conducting an investigation. I see. Guess we better do an investigation of our own, then. Yes, I'd like to formally request that you do just that. I'll send a payment over to the Guild for the work you've done so far. Please make use of the money for your current investigation expenses. I have a feeling that the army is going to get in our way again. I guess when that happens, it happens. Whether they get in our way or not, I don't think we should be forthcoming with the army about any information we come across. Because if there's really a spy in their midst, they'll just leak it to the Sky Bandits. Though I'm reluctant to say it, I also think it's for the best to keep quiet about our findings. Anyway, let's act with prudence. Alrighty, my bosom companions, shall we head to the South Block? Look, buddy, who made you king of the show? We're going to the Guild. I need to report in and then end this video because it feels like it's been going on for an eternity. And those of you watching will actually know down to the second how long. We received payment from Mayor Maybell for your investigative efforts thus far. Okay. And we are now sitting at 101 BP. 6,000 Mira! Okay. So, yeah, that will be next time. Anyway, I'm the Hero of Light. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.